Hello, and welcome to this episode of Soul and Screen. On this channel, what I will be doing is discussing various scenes from movies, television shows, and doing some connecting biblical concepts and truths and things like that, just to help bring some clarity to see that sometimes what we do in life, our actions and things like that aren't necessarily just us being, so to speak, stupid or, just doing something stupid or just, something wrong with her or something wrong with him. It's actually something going on spiritually. And one of the first series that we are going to be discussing on this channel is Tyler Perry's Sistas. I have been raving about this show for the longest to those in my inner circle, because I believe that Tyler Perry hit it with these. The actors, the writing, for the most part, have come together to create this amazing show to me, where I also believe it's one of the best shows out there, which gives an example of soul ties, which is the topic that we are going to first start off discussing. What I will do is bring together some screenshots, and sometimes I may even do some clips just to kind of give some context of what's going on and connect it to what the subject matter is, which in this case is a soul tie. So for those who may not be aware of what a soul tie is, I'll give a little brief explanation. First of all, your soul is considered to be compartmentalized into your mind, your will, your emotions, some say your imagination, and your affections. And so with that being said, any relationship that you have with anyone, whether it be a friend, family, associate, romantic and intimate relationships that you have connections with in those various compartments, so to speak, that's a soul tie. Your soul is connected to this person because of your emotion, because of your intellect, your imagination coming together. Any type of affection that you have for this person can create a soul tie. Now, soul ties in and of themselves are not bad or good. They're just there. They're just a tie. They connect you. What happens is they can become, good and negative or toxic, based on the actions of the people involved in the relationship. And so that's what we are going to discuss. I'm going to start the conversation off with the Karen, Zach, and Fatima situationship of sisters. And so to get things started off, I'm going to start with this first clip. It's I'm going to kind of take it a little bit sequential, but sometimes I may jump ahead, and so I'll have to recorrect myself and things like that. But let's get into it. So this first clip is Zach and Karen driving back to her place. They live together. Zach and Karen, for those who don't have any understanding of the show, let me just give a little context. So Zach and Karen have been in an on again, off again relationship for a total of 3 years, and their relationship is what you would consider toxic at this point. They both have this level of disrespect for one another, but they have basically trauma bonded with each other. So Karen's disrespect comes out in the way that she talks to Zach. She belittles him. She talks to him as if he's a child and not a man, and just doesn't show him really any respect at all. And a lot of it is based off of the dialogue of the show, is because of how he treats her. Now, Zach has cheated on Karen multiple times, and Zach is an ex-con, so getting a good paying job for him has created some difficulty in him creating a satisfying a life or income for himself. Let's put it that way. So he's had to live off of Karen for the majority of the part, and this relationship dynamic has caused an issue in their relationship. Karen doesn't respect Zach as a man because he's not paying his way as far as she sees. He's not taking care of her. He's not helping with any of the bills. He continues to cheat on her. And then Karen, like I said, just very disrespectful in the way that she treats and talks to Zach and kicks him out just when she's fed up and things like that. And this particular scene, they are in the car on their way home and they're discussing actually, Karen is telling Zach that she doesn't want to do this anymore. She's done. She's like, I can't do this. I don't even want to work on it anymore. And she basically puts him out on the side of the road, like, get out. And Zach leans and looks at her and tells her, like, if that's what you want, I'll do it, but I'm not coming back. And she's like 10 toes down, like, good, like that kind of thing. And so she puts him out. And as far as she's concerned, that's the end of her relationship with him. And the reason I say that is because she immediately puts him out, and then she calls this other guy named Aaron, who she had started dating during her and Zach's argument, so to speak, like going back and forth. She started talking to this new guy named Aaron. Now, Aaron is the complete opposite of Zach. He's a pastor. He's a man with monies and means and things like that. And so he starts treating Karen the way that she believes that she's supposed to be treated. So he offers to purchase things for her. He offers to, take her to go grocery shopping and just treat her the way that she believes that she should be treated. And so there's this attraction that forms between them to the point where her friends, she's having conversations with her friends that she's done with Zach. So she has this one conversation with one of her friends, Danny. Now, all of these women who our friends are the characters of Sistas. For those, again, who don't understand or know the show, they've all been friends since college. And so Karen and Danny have a conversation where Danny tells, she's trying to tell Karen, like, just, you're going to take him back. This is just what you guys do. You guys always end up in this cycle. And you end up taking him back anyway. So why don't you just take him back? Because he don't really have anywhere to go. And Karen tells Danny, no, I'm done. Like, I am done. This is it for sure. Like, he cannot come back. We are done. So Danny is like, okay, well, I'm going to let him come and stay with me because he doesn't have anywhere to go. Now, Danny and Zach worked together at the airport. Danny was able to help get Zach a position. So they have built their own friendship outside of Karen, even though Karen and Danny are closer and have been, well, let me not say closer, have been friends longer. But Zach and Danny have formed this type of, brother-sister type of relationship where he goes to Danny to discuss and get advice about his relationship with Karen and just, those kind of situations. So anyway, Danny lets Zach come over to her house. They have this discussion about, what's really going on with him and Karen. And Danny finally just breaks down and tells Zach, she wants to have a baby. And Zach told her, I know that she wants to have a baby. The issue is, if she really wanted to have a baby with me, then she wouldn't be on birth control pills. And she's been on them our entire relationship. And so Danny comes to the conclusion and just tells him straight out, because Danny is the friend that, straight no chaser conversation. So she just like, then I guess she don't want to have a baby with you because she wouldn't be taking birth control pills, knowing that she want to get pregnant. And so Zach was like, yeah. And so she goes, well, I think that really means y'all over. So Zach kind of gets it in his head. Okay, so I guess we're over, so he decides to move on as well. And so he's just kind of going through life, actually Karen's mother introduces Zach to a friend that gets him connected to this position, to this organization that helps ex-cons in real estate invest. So in the process of going through these meetings and things like that, Zach runs into, actually, Fatima literally runs into Zach and hits him with her car. And she's running over to check and see how he's doing. And then, fast forward, they meet in this same meeting that they're going to. Fatima, for those who don't know, again, she is a paralegal that works at this law firm, and this particular law firm is in like a partnership with this organization that helps ex-cons get into real estate investment. So Fatima and Zach meet there. They get to know one another. Fast forward, they develop a relationship and like connect. And Zach reaches out to Fatima. Fatima gives Zach her phone number. It's like, if you need any help or anything like that, just call me, And so he calls her. He gets in trouble. He calls her. She goes over to help him out and, just discusses like, what's going on with you, that kind of thing. And in the process, he's like attracted to Fatima, and Fatima's attracted to him too. She just trying to take it a little, she just ain't jumping in full throttle. In this particular episode, I think she's still trying to fill him out, because in her conversations with him, she's finding out that he's still attracted to his ex. He's still in love with her, that kind of thing. But since he doesn't have anywhere to go, she offers to allow him to come and stay at a room in one of her rooms at her house. So what happens with that? They end up, of course, getting together, having sex, and she just lets him know that I'm going to be here to help you. If you're going to do what you're going to do, then I'll help you. I see some potential in you, and I just think you just need some help. And so her and Zach basically start this kind of relationship. Is definitely not one that they've solidified as exclusive or anything, but they are not necessarily even dating, because he's not taking her out anywhere because he doesn't have any money, but they are getting to know each other because he stays at her house, and they having sex and having conversations in between the sex sessions, right? Like, that's just how the relationship is forming. And during this entire time, Zach is not really thinking about Karen at all. However, Karen is still kind of she kind of starts operating through her psyche, through the effects of the soul tie. This is when it really kicks in. Zach isn't really doing what he used to do when he would leave and when she would kick him out. And what I mean by that is, she makes a comment that Zach is like he just like will resurface. Like, he would show up with other girls just to kind of make her jealous, and eventually that would cause them to get back with each other. Well, Zach isn't doing any of that, because remember, he's like, we're done. He actually even runs into her and Aaron, like walks into them in the process of possibly getting ready to have sex, and it just was over for him. And so when he got connected with Fatima, he just really like changed his whole mindset. So he's focusing on getting into this real estate investing opportunity, and then getting to know Fatima, and then how things were progressing with Fatima, he's into it. And so that starts making him like kind of make some right decisions. So he's really focused on getting the money and like his interest in Fatima. Karen is, over here jonesing, basically. Like, I don't care what anybody says. In my opinion, she is starting to hit those urges of wanting to have sex, because her and Zach were just like having sex like bunnies, right? Like, Zach is based on what the television shows, Fatima and Sisters. All the women that Zach have been with have basically said like he just it in the bed, like he know how to put it down. And so Karen is dating a pastor who is not trying to have sex until he gets married, and so this ain't working for her. So in my opinion, she getting horny. And so, but she needs them to get to like reconnect. And so because they're in this soul tie and they're in this toxic cycle where they break up and then they argue and get back together, and or they break up and argue and have sex and get back together, she needs to initiate that because she's ready for him to come back. And that is a sign and a signal, or an effect, let me say it that way, an effect of a soul tie. So what she does is she finds out that Zach apparently is being, somebody said that somebody's charged her account at work, her credit card, up to $5,000 and signed Zach's name. Now, she has no real proof that Zach was the one who ran up her credit card. Now, mind you, all of her friends, including her Pam, who's not necessarily a friend, but she works for her, tell her at a certain point that this don't really sound like something Zach would do. And she is not hearing anybody. Because why? Because she is trying to get back with Zach. She's saying that she doesn't want him back, but she knows that in order for them to get back and to stay in their cycle, that we have to have this meeting, this argument, so that we can have sex and then we can get back together, because that's what we do. That's our pattern. And since it's been nice, like hanging out with Aaron and everything like that, but I'm not getting the sex that I want. So what Karen does is she goes over to the airport. She makes Danny take her over to Zach, and she literally goes to his place of employment and cusses him out, slaps him, and blames him about for running up her credit card. Now, Zach is telling her, I didn't do this. I didn't run up your credit card. Like, first of all, why you coming in my job talking like this is my job, you causing a scene. I could get fired from this. And so she's like, I know you did it. I don't care what nobody say. If you're going to either give me my money or I'm going to send you to jail. So she's not hearing anything anybody is telling her, that nobody believes that Zach has done this but her. And she really don't believe it either. She's just trying to initiate contact again. That's the effect of a soul tie and a trauma bond, right? So eventually she goes to the police and gets Zach arrested for fraud. Zach goes to jail. Fatima ends up getting him out, and he goes over to Karen and to Karen's place and tells her that, you know what, like, I can't even believe that you would think that I would do this to you. Like, I actually love you. He tells her, I love you. I would never do this to you. And she's like, I don't believe nothing you say, all this kind of stuff. You just want to hurt me and all this kind of stuff. So they end up arguing in her office. And what happens is they end up having sex. Now, this again is a part of their pattern. So this is not outside of what you would do when you are in a cycle or a soul tie. You start figuring out ways and to get to each other and to create meetings where we can get back into our pattern. So he goes there, they have sex. Aaron walks in on them having sex because, remember, Karen is starting to date Aaron. Now, they are not in an exclusive relationship or anything, but she is consistently dating him. He's actually staying a night at her house and things, not just at her house, like on the couch or anything like that, like in her bed sometimes, but they're not having sex. That is the only thing that Aaron is not supplying for Karen that she feels that she needs, right? Like everything else, she's like, he's the man that I want. He's everything that I want in a man. He pays for things. He asks me how I'm doing, this kind of stuff, but they're not having sex. So she goes to the person who she wants to have sex with, but she also is circling back to the pattern. She wants Zach. She just was tired of him. And instead of just taking a break or anything like that, she kicks him out because that's, again, a part of their pattern is disrespect. So anyway, they get to, they have sex. Aaron walks in on him. He tells her, you need to figure it out. What are you going to do? And, I'm done, kind of. So he leaves. She gets meet with her friends and tells them that she ended up sleeping with Zach. Now, mind you, they're all like, so you slept with Zach and he apparently ran up $5,000 in your credit card, but you still about to take him back? And she literally tells them, well, I know he ain't no good for me or anything, and we probably gonna be right back here in about a week or so, but I love him, and so I want him back. I want him to come home. And they end up going to a grocery store, and they actually run into Zach and Fatima at the grocery store. Now, prior to them going to the grocery store, Fatima had just went to Zach and basically asked him to move in with her because they've been vibing. She's like, I like how you make me feel. And Zach is like, now, mind you, Zach knows that he just slept with Karen, but he isn't saying anything to Fatima, of course, but he's like trying not to disrupt things because he actually really likes Fatima. He just know he messed up. So they go to the grocery store. Karen and her friend group are at the grocery store, and they literally run into each other. Now, when Karen sees them at the grocery store, she has this immediate attitude and like, what's going on? Now, one of the reasons that she has an attitude, kind of, which don't make sense to me, is because Andy had just introduced her girlfriends, Karen, Sabrina, and Danny, introduced Fatima to them. And so they spent like 2 hours at a dinner that Andy invited them to, and they were cool. Karen and Fatima were cool. She liked Fatima and everything. Fatima called Karen to have her do her hair one night when her and Zach had a sex session, and it messed up her hair and all this kind of stuff. And she was actually telling Karen about the new guy and kind of how her hair got messed up and everything like that. But she never said who the new guy was, who she was sleeping with. So Karen didn't know. So fast forward back to the grocery store. Karen has an attitude, and she's like, so what's going on? And she talking to Fatima with like this attitude, and Fatima's trying to explain, this is just a really big coincidence. I didn't know that you were his ex. He talked about his ex. He brought up an ex, but he never said his ex's name. And I'm also not the kind of chick that would do this. So she, Karen has this like look of just disgust and just mad. She's just the animosity that's coming forth towards Fatima. And it's unwarranted because she didn't know that you were dating Zach, that you had dated Zach. And in all honesty, you and Zach are broken up. Now, understand, the soul tie has Karen pissed off because Zach is supposed to be coming back to her. They just had sex. Their pattern: argue, break up, get out, reconnect somehow through an argument, have sex, Zach come back home. Fatima just disrupted their groove, right? Because she knows that Zach is into Fatima because Danny has been telling her and the other girls that whoever this new chick that Zach is seeing, God is like, he on her. Like he talk about her. He like all this stuff. And so she not just some chick that he sleeping with or staying with until you get him back, until you bring him back, Karen. Like he liked this chick. Well, Karen didn't think so, right? Because now we just had sex. He coming home. But now realizing that it's Fatima, she's kind of like, oh, this might be a little different. You know what I'm saying? Because, Danny been talking about Zach bringing up this chick for a while. So this ain't just somebody that you having sex with. You into her. And so anyway, this particular scene is over. They get into it. Fatima tries to explain once again, I didn't know. I don't know that we dating necessarily. She asked Zach, are we dating, just to kind of, define it. And she was like, I don't even know, Karen, if we dating. And Danny kind of just like, y'all just having sex. But, she used some different vocabulary. But basically just telling her that This is really kind of new. I don't really know what this is, but got you. Now that I know who he is, I'm good. So Fatima really tries to step back at that point. But next episode of Soul and Screen, I'll get into the next few scenes, and we'll discuss, again, to start seeing more effects and what happens. But in this particular one, I wanted you guys to just get a little bit of background and see some budding effects of the soul tie, which is getting back into these particular patterns, but also not caring anything about anybody else except for what you want. Karen went to Zach's job and caused a whole scene, which could have gotten him fired, but she also had him arrested for something that she didn't even know. So I'll see you next episode. So a question I have before we go is, are you starting to see the soul tie connection that's forming in the summary that I've given? Or am I not being clear enough? Because I can break it down a little bit more. Help me bring some context in here for you guys. But just want to see, are you seeing how the pattern is actually creating the tie of things and making Karen at this point do some things that that you wouldn't normally do if you were not operating, or if she was not operating in a soul tie, and letting that soul tie kind of control her emotions, right? Like, so the attitude that she already has initially with Fatima at the beginning of this kind of awareness. Like, she knew Zach was talking to somebody, but now that she knows it's Fatima, like, look at you can tell that there's just some anger there, right there, based off of that. And my question is, do you think it's warranted? That I don't. I mean, but do you think it's warranted? If you were to have met one person in an encounter at an event for about an hour or two, let's say, and the person, you find out later on that the person is kind of casually, let's say that casually dating and your ex, are you immediately mad at the woman? And, are you immediately like upset and coming for her? Because I have a question about that. I feel like we as Black women don't give each other grace. Like, again, Fatima did not know that Zach and Karen were exes. So why all of the animosity? Why are you giving me the attitude, Karen? What's going on? Like, that kind of thing. Like, that's literally what she said. And in all honesty, I don't owe you no explanation about what's going on in my life, my sex life, any of it. We not cool like that. We not friends. But Fatima still felt like she would give her that explanation, even though, in my opinion, it wasn't her business. So what do you think? Go ahead and comment in the comment section, like and share and subscribe to the channel if you're interested. But that's where the conversation of this channel is going to go. We'll dive into some other parts of the seasons and hit up some very soul ties throughout the show, and then we'll go on to something else, another topic. But I think this soul tie conversation should get us through a couple of them. So let me know if you like it. Let me know if you have a different opinion about it, and I'll get back with you the next episode. Bye.